What's up, guys? Some of you may already know it's me, Kupo. This is Word Rescue. This is my new world record. This is a commentated version of it. Here we go. I picked the girl. This is actually, fun fact, this is the first game ever made that you could choose between a boy or a girl. Predates Pokemon Crystal by a few years, at least. So this is a game. You may expect to find it in like an awful games block at like a speedrunning marathon, perhaps, but I actually think it's pretty fun. The movement's fairly fast. It's like there's not really many slowdowns unless you hit a wall. So it's all about just sort of optimizing your movement, and then the positions of these pictures are random. I get pretty good RNG on the first few levels of this run here. Rat. And then this should be, yeah, gun. Basically, the way it works is you have to visit each tile twice, effectively, because the tiles are, I do a little fancy jump there. The tiles are initially question marks, and then they, when you grab them, they all turn to pictures, and you need to collect each question mark and match to each picture, and but it will never transform. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this part. It's like they... Anyways, you just have to visit each area twice, so it's all about optimizing your movement between areas, and then good RNG, reacting to the positions, and memorizing what you've seen already. And you've seen a couple enemies already. They're called gruzzles. They're the main antagonists of this game here, Word Rescue. And basically, the story of this game involves the gruzzles. They don't know how to read, and they don't want anyone else to know how to read. So they steal all the words out of the books, and you have to rematch them to put the words back into the books. And if you touch a gruzzle, they effectively kill you, but really, Benny Bookworm comes down and rescues you and brings you back to the start of the level. And the combat in this game is fairly simple. Benny Bookworm can, you can slime enemies with Benny Bookworm, one button. It's kind of finicky sometimes, the targeting, and so sometimes it's pretty easy to just like miss randomly, which is not cool. I get some pretty good RNG again at the beginning of this level here. I think I messed up the beginning of that jump, so I just fell down, which was not that bad. I do a double jump there so I don't die in the pit there. I do another one there so I can accurately slime that gruzzle. Now, there's not actually a double jumping mechanic in this game, but in the first many frames of your jump, you actually don't really technically leave the ground, although your hurt box does. So you can fall and then continue jumping upwards in the middle of your jump just a little bit, and in certain situations it's extremely helpful for avoiding gruzzles and things, and pitfalls mainly. It's one of the few actual speed tech in this game, other than just clean movement. So I get the spoon, and there we go. Level 4. This level's actually kind of fun. I like it, I don't know. It's like a castle, you know, obviously. The order of these levels doesn't really make a lot of sense sometimes. Like, you go inside the castle before you go outside the castle, and then you go into the dungeon of the castle after that. So I think they may have put the levels in the wrong order a little bit. But, yeah, I go back to the beginning to get the bell. Bottle, I already know where that is. I mess up my movement a little bit there. Clown, I've already seen the clown, so I know exactly where to go. You can actually save a little bit of time there if you do a tiny jump and do a double jump there, but it's really finicky, and if you hit the wall, which is really easy to do, you actually lose time, so I didn't go for it. Oh my goodness, that was some bad movement. I lost like a second there, just from jumping up and down. That was good. You curved around the wall so I didn't get slowed down by hitting the corner, and the flag is up top. So it was a pretty nice just position of pieces in this level. So I got a pretty good time. I think that was a gold split. Slime the Gruzzle. I accidentally held right at the beginning, so I lost a little bit of time there. Messed up my jump. All in all, this is some pretty good RNG on this level too, actually. The early part of this run went really, really well for the randomness. So I grab that, I check just to see what's over there, just to confirm that it's the last, that it's going to be the turtle, so I don't have to do a 50-50 later. Arrow. Oh, I reacted a little slow and messed up my jump, but that is tricky. Oftentimes you will hit that, and because the upper hitboxes of those tiles are a little bigger than you'd expect, and sometimes you can catch that one, and that effectively spawns a gruzzle, which messes up your movement. Because, oh right, when you mismatch a word with a piece, it will turn into a gruzzle. And other than that, there's only a couple littered around the map. So I accidentally collect that book. Books are for extra points. It's not really, I just did a little hop there. I have a feeling, I'm not 100% on this, but it always feels to me like falling is a little tiny bit faster than climbing down ladders. It could just be due to a little bit of lag introduced from the animation change on this old, you know, MS-DOS game. But regardless, so when I'm falling down and climbing up ladders, because your fall speed is identical to your vertical ascension speed, so I like to try to jump off ladders sometimes when I'm climbing up and down them, because you save a little bit of time. Also, it's a very subtle optimization, but it's for every tile that I collect throughout the run. In many situations, you try to aim for the closest corner, which is usually the top corner, or the bottom side corner if you're trying to pass the tile as you collect it, or the top corner when you're approaching the tile. It's fun. Yeah, oh, I messed up my jump there, which is unfortunate. I collect the anchor, knowing that it's the only one I haven't seen, so it must be the very first tile. I collect snow. Oh, I lose a couple seconds walking back and forth there, trying to think of where snow was. I could have gold split that for sure. I'm not sure if I did, but music. I see the acorn, mess up my movement a little bit, miss the line in my field of view, but I get the music. Now this is interesting. Sometimes when you have to go out of your way to collect, when there's just two tiles off on their own, you want to, this is good RNG in the sense that I only have to visit this area twice instead of 3 times, because as I collect one, I get the other, and then vice versa. That's RNG though. It just depends on the order of the other pieces. Now, yeah, sometimes it's actually faster to, I like to call it gruzzing out, or just like intentionally spawn a gruzzle by collecting the wrong words so that you can not have to run back and forth as much. I don't really think I do that at all during this run, which is nice, that I don't have to. Because sometimes if you forget about a gruzzle that you spawned, or it can get pretty tricky. And also gruzzles have a tendency to randomly just accelerate vertically at a high rate, just fly upwards and then fly back down sometimes. So it's a little dangerous actually when you're spawning gruzzles in this game. But easy mode has very few gruzzles, so I just chose to run this category first. I think later I'm going to do runs of medium and hard. Dungeon's one of my favorite levels. And it's actually, I like it, you have to look at that, recognize it. You have to know all the pictures just by the top few pixels for this part, so that's tricky. I knew that's a tomato. I walked a little bit too far before I reacted to the dive in the bottom right corner, which cost just a tiny bit of time. But while I'm down here, as I said, I'm going to collect both lower level tiles. I already know where Crown is. So it was around this point in the run that I started to realize I've been getting really good RNG this whole time, and I'm on an actually like great pace, and I haven't made too many like terrible mistakes. This is the first terrible mistake that I make in this run. I start running this way, I go up here and I check, and I should know that it's just whichever one is left over, but I, you know, see the factory, realize I'd already seen the tomato. This was one of the worst mistakes I made in this run. I could save a lot of time there. So I noticed, yeah, that was after that mistake, I tried to calm myself down. I felt my heart rate going up, and I just tried to control my breathing a little bit, you know, because I started to get a little nervous, which is, you know, silly. But I don't know. I realized I was on really good pace, and I'm not going to get RNG like this all the time. You know, I have to reset a lot in this game. I messed up my movement again, nervous, but I calmed down and I cancel that. Oh, yeah. When you actually collect all the pieces, there's an extremely slow animation that plays. It takes about 20 seconds before that key's unveiled. You can just cancel it by clicking escape. I didn't know that when I started writing this game at first, and so that was funny. This is probably the worst level in the game by far in terms of just random time loss, because everything's so spread out and the platforming is a little tricky, and it's easy to, well, that was a mistake. See, I hit that gruzzle. That was a bad mistake. But now I know that that has to be in the top right corner because I've looked at all the other tiles. But yeah, this is the waterfall. The RNG here can be really brutal, and so I grabbed the bird. I could have done that jump just a little better. That gruzzle could have just fallen on my head random. It would have been totally random, and so that was pretty dangerous of me. I messed up my movement again there, and then I dropped down to collect this one. Don't care about that gruzzle. I get the duck, knowing it has to be down there. That was, yeah, when I do mess up, I am tending to recover pretty quickly, but for right there, I couldn't for the life of me remember where the head tile was, which caused me, you know, to lose a few more seconds. Unfortunate. So I collect that, grab the claw. The last question mark's up in the tree, so I make a clean jump. Pretty good platforming. Again, I kind of mess up that jump a little bit. I could have caught that tile head on, but I drop down, cancel, and then get to the door pretty quickly. So that's good. This is the most dangerous level of the game in my opinion, because that stupid gruzzle. And I mess up my slime at first with the targeting there. Other than that, this level's super free and super fast, other than the very beginning. Because most of the pieces are so close, and there's just two off in the corner. Really, the only time loss here is that visiting twice versus visiting 3 times thing that I mentioned. But again, that's just RNG. I got bad luck on that 50-50 there. Orange, I know where this is because I saw the corner when I went to collect a kite. And also because it's the only thing I haven't seen, but it's... you know, I did know it was there too. That's that's another terrible mistake that really cost me like 5 full seconds almost, probably. There, it felt like something like that, where I just walked in the totally wrong direction. Right, I could have done the fancy little glitch there, which I do get later in this run on at the end of level 14. I can explain it when I get there. It's just, it doesn't really accomplish anything. It's just a visual glitch. It's just kind of funny. So I collect the stair. This is, platforming-wise, I would say the Pueblo is actually the hardest. The Pueblo 1 is probably the hardest level in the game, in just terms of like not dying, but in terms of just not losing. I lose a bunch of time here for no reason. At that point, that was when I realized, oh, I might be ruining this run. And right there, you know, that's an annoying jump, threading the needle between the gruzzle and the wall, because if you hit the gruzzle, you're starting a level over. And if you hit the wall, you're losing a fraction of a second. So I lose a fraction of a second on my first jump, on my first attempt at that thread the needle jump. So I go in the wrong direction for a moment there. That time I know the balloon's down there, and I get a little lag from loading the gruzzle, so maybe I should have gone over top. It might have been a little bit faster, but that I did better and was terrifying, and that would have been probably rip run. I still maybe could have world record, but not by much at all, by maybe 2 seconds instead of like a few minutes, almost. I messed up my jump there again. Yeah, see, I have tons of room for improvement on this run. Like, it's lots of mistakes, but it's still overall good RNG, good execution, and just I didn't choke. This is the Pueblo 2. This level is pretty easy to accidentally spawn a gruzzle sometimes, just by these clumped pieces, you know, all being near each other, and sometimes one can appear when you didn't really remember that it was about 2, and if you jump at all there, you collect that. I've hit that one before. But yeah, this one is just like, and it actually has that door being up there is pretty funny. This is a pretty mean level, in the sense that, in casual play anyways, because when you complete the level, if you miss that door by just a fraction, you fall and you actually die. Because that door doesn't have a ground in front of it. Normally you can jump down and then land and then go in the door, but for this level you actually have to come to the door from above. Otherwise you will not enter it and you will fall to your death, even though it does not look like you would. Construction site, my personal least favorite level, in that you can just lose a lot of time because you kind of have to climb up and down, and I don't know, in my last good run before this, I lost about 45 seconds just wandering around here, just losing my mind. That was actually a close gruzzle too. He could have just walked a little faster and killed me, and that would have been really bad. But I do make a few mistakes in this construction site, whatever, and it's frustrating to me. I hate this level, but it's part of the run. It's not nearly so bad as Echo the Dolphins, Enter the Machine, but it's pretty bad. This is the worst level of the run in the same sense as that, for me, personally. But I guess the real run killer would be the waterfall, maybe. And of course, just bad RNG in level 1. Yeah, I reset a lot in the course of recording these. Like, I just want level 1 to go smoothly, and if level 2 goes pretty well as well, I'll usually finish the run. But yeah, so here's Slime Bottling Factory, level 14. I missed that tile, so I have to jump up. When I'm running to the right here, I remember I look at my clock and I realize how far ahead I am, and I'm just like, okay, I just gotta finish this. And if I fall in the slime like a moron, then I don't deserve the world record. And I would have reset, even if I still would have world record. I probably would have gotten angry and reset if I fell in the slime here, just because, like, oh man, that would have been awful. I missed the arm just by a little bit, which is unfortunate. I missed that just by a little bit. I remember where the gun is a little slow. Yeah, this level could have gone a lot smoother, but it really wouldn't be all that much time save in total. I check that there. I should have known the rat was already down there. I notice when a lot of people play this game, they avoid those slime droplets as if they damage you, but they do not. Only falling in the slime does. This is the last level tank room. Oh, there was that little glitch I explained. I collected the last tile as I landed on the door, and I never hit the ground after collecting that tile, meaning that I actually got the key in the next level, the key for the previous level, so I can't go through the door, but it's just a funny little animation. And you have to cancel at the beginning of the next level instead. Cancel that animation. I messed up my movement there. But yeah, I got good RNG actually on this last level, the tank level, which is really nice. At this point I'm like, yeah, I'm in there, I just gotta finish this. And I make a little mistake there, that's fine. Yeah, so this game actually, Word Rescue, was the first video game that I ever played when I was like 2 or 3 years old. It was the only game we had on MS-DOS. I mess up there. And I was just downright awful at it. I didn't even understand the word matching, and I couldn't really read very well. And so I really had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know the title of the game. I called it Gruzzles because that was what I knew it as. And also a fun fact, I don't think I ever played on easy mode as a child because I remember there being like tons of Gruzzles and dying constantly and slamming them, and that being the main point of the game. And I probably never progressed past level 2, I would guess. But now, you know, I have the world record here. I mess up here a few times. I'm terrified of the final jump, and there we go. That's time. That's world record. 1934.
GZZZZZ.
It went pretty well overall. That's order instructions for the later versions, because this first one was actually shareware. The part 1 available for free, and parts 2 and 3 were expensive. $15 plus 4 shipping, I believe. And that was back in the 90s. I don't know if you can still order it. Yeah, this game is great. It was programmed by Karen Crowther of, I believe, Redwood Games, published by Apogee Software. Art by Bud Pembroke, and I do not know who composed the music, unfortunately. I was unable to find a name on that. But I actually love the music in this game, too. It's one of the reasons why I didn't mind running it, listening to the music over and over again, because, you know, it's actually pretty fun tunes. In the words of my 6-year-old brother, this game has some nice tunes. Thanks a lot, guys. It's me, Kupo. Yeah, I'm actually... Yeah. Thanks. Have a good one.